Now, going over to the political part podcast, you have Trump posts on his most popular one of the week on good old X Twitter, and it's saying if Kamala wins with a flag burning. This comes from, of course, Donald Trump's good old X Twitter account, and he has a picture, which you see some military-age Middle Eastern men, I believe, with one of them has some type of tactical vest and the hat, and they're holding the flag upside down. It's burning. It says, "quote If Kamala wins," it says, "vote Trump 2020." 2024. Guys are now because it used to be. Now this got 54 million views, as well as 581,000 likes. His most viral post all week on X Twitter. And as you know, when it comes to Trump, that's a pretty big sample size. In fact, he would probably say something to the effect of, "No one posts more than me on the X Twitter. I'm very active. I have all the posts, I have all the follows, all the retweets go to me, and some to the enemies, but my posts are the best around. Nothing will ever take them down because Elon is awesome." But I only partially jest. That might be the worst Trump impression you hear all year, but at least hopefully it made you smile a little bit, maybe a little laugh, and all worth it. And interestingly enough, he says if Kamala wins, and they're also holding the American flag upside down, which, spoiler alert for those who aren't really big into history, but it's a sign of duress. And they're also, of course, bringing the flag out. It's interesting. He says if Kamala wins, he should have, in terms of critique, granted, it went viral. He did well regardless of my input, and he still knows what he's doing, obviously. But I mean, he really doesn't have to say if Kamala wins. He should just say United States now, because we're seeing this more and more, especially with the Palestinian protests throughout the U.S., which has resulted in vandalism on World War I memorials in the United States. I mean, literally spray painting graffiti on United States government property. And the government basically does nothing. I think one time they got arrested and let out the next day. And they're also burning American flags all over. And even, again, taking down government, there's the ownerage of those flags. Well, a lot of times it's government property. So they're taking flags down off of these monuments and burning them. Which, again, that's technically the destruction of government property. They should be charged, obviously. Yet they're not. And the United States, the only flag you can burn without being a hate crime is the United States flag, interestingly enough. Now, granted, obviously, freedom of speech, the Supreme Court has ruled multiple times, you have the right to do that, again, if it's your personal property. So if you go out and you buy your own United States flag, you want to burn it, well, yeah, it is your legal right. I don't agree with it, obviously. It is kind of funny how nowadays, if you see an American flag, you kind of know what they're voting for. Spoiler alert, usually Republican or Libertarian on average. And yeah, he could, instead of saying if Kamala wins, you just say United States now. Because we're seeing this more and more, and you see people coming to America with other countries' flags. I mean, look at Minnesota. They've been conquered. Their state flag used to be a beautifully ornate designed flag, and now it looks like someone with crayon designed it, and it's so rudimentary. It's basically just a bastardized Somalian flag, which does reflect the importation of the Somalians into, especially Minneapolis. Which, spoiler alert, yeah, it's not doing great. It's not doing so well over there. And yeah, it's fun. I do think it's interesting. He says the verbiage of this. If Kamala wins, just say Kamala now, do you want worse? Something to that effect. And it's quite concerning because, again, the United States, I mean, immigration built the United States, obviously. Now, that being said, there would also be a lot more assimilation. I mean, my family came from Cuba. None of us have a Cuban flag. Partially because Fidel is so mentally, and the Castros are so mentally and morally vacuous or evil as all hell. And yet another, how many examples do these idiots need? Or when I say, if you clarify, leftists who still call for communism, saying it's never been tried. Yet another example of why communism is not just morally evil, but it's never worked. Look at Cuba. I mean, prior to Fidel taking over, they had a great economy. Some of those iconic brands were Bacardi used to be a Cuban brand, and now I believe they relocated to Puerto Rico. So they're no longer, I mean, it was beautiful, a great economy, great people. Yeah, just destroyed. I mean, this reason we don't fly Cuban flags in the United States. But there's zero, I mean, I would never buy one of those pieces of trash because of what it represents. Just the dictator over there is terrible. So, I mean, a lot of times when you come, assimilation was key. That's why we used to all culturally share a lot of the same morals and values, especially the founding fathers. And everyone, I mean, I think patriotism kind of peaked after 9/11. Everyone had an American flag. And nowadays, well, granted, not the best sample size in terms of representatives of the United States, because I would argue Texas is much more patriotic than most. You see a lot of Texas flags and a lot of United States flags in like Dallas Fort Worth. I mean, average United States seems like we're seeing less and less American flags. Now, this are obviously viral. Again, 54 million views, or as Trump might say, more views than anything Kamala would ever post. Obviously, like 10 times more. No, more like 100. Interestingly enough, that's not all too off. Not his accent, yes, that's probably terribly off. But statistically, you look at a lot of Kamala posts, and she'll get maybe 2 to 3 million. Now, granted, I know she has two posts. She has one on her personal X Twitter page, and she has one specifically with the VP handle. I mean, a lot of her posts usually, actually, no, it's worse than that. I'm looking at her profile right now. Looks like she's peaking, she's actually posting very frequently, getting between 200 and 300,000 views per post. And then we have a couple outliers. One got 12 million views, and then the other, a couple more that get 2 to 3 million views. So when it comes to, just views on the X Twitter, Trump is definitely winning on that metric. Not sure what that's worth. Now, going to the top comments, you have Ashley St. Clair perfectly encapsulating my point with one of the previous, I don't know if you really consider this protests, the Palestinian demonstrators. I say that because I recognize this video, and I think when the camera pans, they actually are spray painting United States monuments, which, again, that would no longer be a peaceful protest. That would obviously be destruction of property and mentally and evilly vacuous. Ashley St. Clair says, quote, "They're already here under Kamala and Joe." This is actually a credit to Timcast. Looks like he got his cool little logo on the bottom here. Looks like there's someone, not to call it out, but you'll never guess what he's wearing. A rudimentary t-shirt and cargo pants. I don't want to say it's a red flag, but he's not a photographer. He's not carrying lenses in that. But yeah, I was about to call him a gentleman. He's not. He's a scum. So he's carrying a Palestinian flag, and then he goes on the ground. He's lighting the United States flag, and I guess this technically is a public public assembly in terms of it's not private property. It's the public area. I'm not too familiar with the DC area, but burn that shit! 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 I mean, do you think they're probably assimilating in the United States? Like, why are you here? Like, ridiculous. They're about 25 more seconds long. Burn that shit! Burn that shit! Alive! Burn that shit! One has looks like, is that Chuck Schumer on that dowel? Like a United States dowel that they're hanging. Can't, they keep moving it so you can't see the rudimentary printer. They even go to Kinko's. I don't think that's around anymore. Looks like they just use their standard consumer grade printer to print out someone's face and put it on the dowel. How lazy is that? Also, mentally vacuous, morally vacuous. Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! I mean, I don't know who's selling these kitchen towels too, because they're making a killing. Because I'll say half the people in there had the kitchen towels as their fashion attire, or as like their cape. I swear I've seen anyone on IKEA. Looks like half of them have it draped around their shoulders. Some of them have it as a mask or something. Yeah, the only flag you see, or the only U.S. flag you can see, is the one that's being burned. They all have Palestinian flags. Again, I don't know who's selling flags these days, but they're making a killing. They're selling, with all the new designs they come out with, they're doing quite well. Now, perhaps one of the most best, I don't know if this would be a troll, but it'd be hilarious if you could somehow engineer an American flag very similar to a birthday candle trick, where if you try to ignite the flag on fire, it'd just be fire retardant, I suppose. I'm trying to think of a way where the more you try to destroy the American flag, the stronger it becomes. Someone in the engineering department, get on that. Someone called DuPont. Get some magical new type of material for that. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, that one that post by Ashley St. Clair got 166,000 views, 2.7 thousand likes. AKA says, quote, "Trump will save our country," 520 likes. Paul Zupa says, quote, "We need mass deportations as soon as possible, otherwise America cannot be saved. It's that simple," getting 494 likes. And again, that's another controversial thing, because, again, who knows if they're here legally? Again, they might be here legally. In that case, if that is their personal flag, I mean, you're not allowed to set things up on fire. I don't know where that specific instance would fall legally, in terms of the court case being panned out. And granted, these are the same people where they're also, spray painting monuments and burning flags on top of monuments too. Planet Memes also says Kamala is America's last, or puts America last. You have the little, man, this meme is going viral. The one with the kid walking down, and you see the fork in the road, and one side says America last is Kamala and Tim. On the right says America First is Trump and JD Vance. That got 3,000 likes. Gunther Eagleman says, quote, deport every illegal, no exceptions, getting 3.3 thousand likes, which is fascinating that that's become a controversial thing. I mean, it used to be like 50, 60 years ago, or maybe it's just rose-tinted glasses. But at least when I had conversations when I was a kid, I had conversations with adults, and the immigration has been a debate as old as time. But even back then, there were folks saying, like, on left and right, it wasn't controversial in terms of a lot of folks were saying, well, yeah, if you come here improperly, illegally, there's no way for us to vet you. We don't know your background. We also, I mean, you're not paying into the, not paying an income tax, which some might argue is the most American thing ever. But the libertarian me, I partially digress. But yeah, it's the thing where now, sanctuary cities, people are voting for it. It's become more and more controversial, which is, to me, very bizarre. I don't think it should be. Now, Gunther Eagleman also says, no thanks, I'm voting for President Trump, getting 991 likes. Now, we do have the contrarian statement from Mr. Human. He also has a peace sign, an American flag, a Ukrainian flag, and blue wave emoji in his profile. I can't help but think, is this secretly just an AI bot? His name is Human. He's just trying to play us. Now, he says, quote, hashtag real Donald Trump, other than xenophobia, homophobia, Islamophobia, fear, hatred, and anger, they have nothing to offer the American people, not one. Dear Trump voter, imagine a friend who lies to you once, you may forgive them twice, you might still trust them, but what if they lie 100, 1,000? Interestingly enough, he doesn't say anything that Trump lied about. He just has a picture of Kamala and the iconic, I forget the graphic designer who did the Obama Hope and Change posters, which those are multi-billion-dollar deal in terms of all the contracts they're getting out subsequently. But yeah, that's very iconic. And now you have a picture, it says Kamala, and it says Rise. Then it has Obama, Trump, and Biden. And then Obama said hope, Trump said hate, and Biden said heal. I got 1.1 thousand likes, though. Was he ratioed? There's I forget what it is, the actor from The Hangover, who's actually a surgeon in real life. The Asian actor, but some gif for him where he just puts his hands around his mouth and screams gay. That gif for GIF goes really viral. I got 2 likes. Let's see here. He says GIF specifics, getting 1 like. Because again, this is the same almost leftist tactic. I don't think it's effective because again, this alleged human, we'll give him benefit of the doubt. Maybe he's not a robot, but again, he's not addressing. Usually him and Luke Zaleski always just copy paste on Trump as well as Elon's social media, just the same drub. Like they don't actually address the core topic. Like this guy's saying, well, he's not even talking about flags being burned or the decrease in patriotism. He's just saying copy paste. And again, he says Trump lied, and yet I'm actually surprised he doesn't give us specific bullet points in that case. Now that did still got 1.1 thousand likes, so you have some contrarian comments in there. Trump Army says, quote, she's the worst border czar. Says Kamala intentionally unsecured the border. And let's see here. She halted the construction of the President Trump's border wall. She took more than 94 executive actions to unsecure the border, opposed all deportations, ended the Remain in Mexico policy, letting millions of illegals into the United States. That was huge. That was one of the most effective policies to the Trump camp during when Trump was in office. It decreased illegal immigration dramatically. And basically, if you're accused of something, if you're accused of being here illegally, well, instead of just letting them in the United States and saying, oh yeah, come to this court day at a specific time, well, they remain in Mexico, has the name of the policy. One of the policy is actually named properly for what it actually does. And yeah, there's a big disincentive, they remain in Mexico. Now that got 352 likes. Oh, she also says, quote, supports deadly sanctuary cities, funded secret flights for over 320,000 illegals in the country, supports mass amnesty for millions of illegals, and gives them whatever they want in government benefits, getting 352 likes. Going down more and more. Let's see here. Jocelyn Nicaragua says, her life mattered. Think of how her and others when you decide who you want to vote to be your president. Got 272 likes. Yeah, there's been some places in like New York, 75% of the rest around, it was homicide, domestic abuse, and this is a fancy word for graffiti or public defacing property. 75% were illegal aliens. Again, it was specifically Manhattan, I believe. But yeah, in some areas, it's a majority of arrests. Now, granted, in terms of the whole United States, still waiting for the statistics to come out. But yeah, the anecdotal evidence is increasing more and more. Again, especially when we're seeing it more and more on social media. Also have Crazy Moments saying, quote, the only man that can save America. You see iconic picture of after Trump just got shot by attempted assassination. It says, impeached, arrested, convicted, shot, still standing, getting 1.4 thousand likes. Someone by the name of Who says, I'm voting for Trump. You? It's an AI-generated image of Trump in a suit with a cowboy hat holding dual pistols. And look, and this is, granted, it's an AI-generated image, but it also looks like an AI bastardization of a Colt 1911, as well as a Colt revolver merged into one. It is really bizarre. Unique, though. Got 369 likes. Jerry says fact. It says enemy of the people. It's a picture of Obama, Biden, and Kamala getting 1,000 likes. Here. Any other ones? What's this? Mike Justice said anyone who burns the flag should be deported immediately, getting 492 likes. Merkel's the Great. I haven't heard from him in a while. There's a picture with some gentleman yelling, we want Sharia law, and Spock from the Star Trek says, well, go home. Getting 2.6 thousand likes. One bad dude says absolutely true. It's a picture of those Palestinian protesters and says, real Americans do not chant death to America ever, getting 660 likes. Very true. Again, Trump's most viral tweet of the week. Granted, this is his personal profile, so I'm guessing the average people who follow him would be more ideologically in the middle or on the right. But we still had a couple contrarians in there. But again, exceedingly popular, at least in terms of this regard, in terms of social media post. And yeah, it should be quite concerning, I would argue, for all Americans that we're seeing more and more people burning American flags and patriotism at an all-time low. But let me know in the comments, do you think that's an effective methodology to point out to, or a big topic that's going to come into the upcoming election in terms of what Americans care about, or if it's a concern? Let me know in the comments. As always, it'd be fascinating to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in. Again, try to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you can click that button, I'd really appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make sure better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.